What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench, guys, for a brand new season here on Sci-Fi Wednesdays. That's right, guys, we are back and we are actually going to start a new project, and this is going to be something very different than what we typically build here on the channel. It's not Star Wars, it's not Star Trek. This is actually from a video game series. This is a 1/12 scale figure model by a company called Kotobukiya. I apologize if I butchered that. I've always wanted to build something from Koto. I just never had an opportunity because they're always so expensive. But I got this at a great deal. It's from the video game series called MegaManX, or MegaManX if you're here in the US. And this is going to be a really fun project because I get to combine two of my favorite hobbies, model building and video games. So this is going to be an interesting project. Now, if you know anything about MegaManX, you'll know that this is a video game series that came out on the Super Nintendo back in 1993. This is from the second game. This debuted in 1994. And this is my favorite armor set of all time, the second armor set. So this is going to be a really fun build. I thought we'd go ahead and just dive into the model kit today, show you guys some of the sprues, talk a little bit about it because I have never built a Koto kit before, but I've always heard that they are fantastic. So I'm hoping this is going to be a good little build to do. And of course, I've got some other tricks up my sleeve I want to go ahead and try out. So let's go ahead and dive into the box and check out the parts. So first thing we can see is this is a very high quality model. The instruction booklet is glossy, very thick pages, beautifully illustrated. The parts and pieces are all nicely separated into their own poly bags. And as you'll notice, this is very Bandai-esque. They're all molded in color, so you don't technically have to paint anything. And as far as I know, they are also snapped together. So that is also very, very handy. We're given several options in terms of just different faces already painted very anime style, which we'll get a close-up of that in a little bit. But all the parts and pieces again molded in color, and it looks to be pretty high quality injection molded. Not really sure how the fit is, of course, but let's go ahead and just dive into the instructions and I'll show you guys what we got going on in there. And this is a great instruction manual, guys. You can open up the front cover. You've got the actual model kit in a cool pose. You've got some illustrations. You've got all the parts and pieces on the back cover. Of course, you have all of our paint callouts as well as just MegaManX just standing there looking awesome. We've got all of our part breakdowns, and this is going to be something you might hear from me several times during the video, but this is extremely Bandai-esque, very similar to a Bandai kit. I don't know if they have any sort of relationship, but I got to tell you, this looks very, very similar to what you would see in any one of the Bandai kits that I built recently. We've got all the sub-assemblies. We build each individual unit, such as the head, the chest, the arms, the legs, and we go ahead and assemble them all together to make a full model. So 1/12 scale figure, so it won't be giant, but it'll be pretty decent size. And then once we get everything kind of lined up, we put it all together and we are good to go to either paint, or in my case, we want to add in a couple of extra little deals. We'll get to that a little bit later. Now, this is of course MegaManX, and if you know anything about MegaManX, you know he has a primary weapon called the Mega Buster, and this is going to be something we can actually change in and out if we want to go and have his hands or we want to have his arm cannon. So it's kind of up to the builder. Myself personally, I'll probably go with the arm cannon because I got a couple of extra tricks up my sleeve, so we'll probably end up doing that, but it's nice to know you do have options. And of course, on the back cover we have two poses of Mega Man along with all of the different color callouts for the second armor. Very easy colors. They look mostly like primary colors, so I don't think they'd be too difficult to find or to source from different paint manufacturers. I think that's going to be a really fun, exciting model to build. And again, I've always wanted to build something from Koto, so we're going to go with it, guys. We're going to build it up. Giving you a quick zoom in here on the parts, you can see very high quality parts molded in color. We're even given options in terms of his facial expressions, 3 different versions, and I'm not really sure which one I want to go ahead and use. We'll get to that, see how the model goes and what we feel like doing, but it's nice to have options. And that's something that Bandai kits do as well. Like I said, I don't know which one I'll use, but we'll have to see because these are all very, very cool. Going into the actual plastic parts, I noticed right off the bat that most of these pieces look very, very nice, and all of the sprue connection points are all on the edges or the undersurface of the parts, which in theory should make cleanup a far simpler process. We are given some clear parts as well. We have the head piece, we have got some other pieces in the helmet, and I believe we have some foot inserts that have thrusters. So again, we got options, which is really, really nice. Now let's talk our plan for this particular model. I really want to go ahead and try to put some lights in this little figure. I don't know how that's going to work, but we could actually put a single LED somewhere here on his front jewel on his helmet. We could put another LED in his Buster cannon so that that lights up. And you can't really see him here on the pictures, but there are 2 sensors basically where his ears would be. They could also be lit up. Put some small little SMDs in there. I think he does have a couple of thrusters that we could put on his feet, but I don't see that being an issue because he's going to be standing upright. You're not going to see him. Probably won't go ahead and fool with that too much. But everything else, like the Buster Cannon and the headpiece, we could probably do a little bit of lighting in that and make it look even cooler. And I know it can be done because I've seen it before here on YouTube. That means we have to be very clever with how we go ahead and wire this. There's not a lot of room in there. So we're going to have to go ahead and try to figure out a way to get a nice path for our wires up to the different areas that we're going to install LEDs. Like for example, into the helmet. We might be a little bit more restricted about what we can do. I think we can get it done. So that's my plan, guys. I want to go ahead and throw some lights in this. I also want to make a custom base. I want to try to make it look a little bit more like the video game. Maybe make one of his upgrade capsules. I don't really know, but we'll see what kind of comes to mind once we get to that point. We've got a long way to go before that though. But that is it, guys. I just wanted to give you a real quick look at the 1/12 scale Kodo kit here for MegaManX second armor version. I cannot wait to jump in on this kit. I've heard that these Kodo kits are extremely posable, which is pretty cool. But if I go ahead and put some lights in it, it's not going to be as posable, but that's okay. It's going to be a whole experience. I cannot wait to jump in and build this thing up. I've even actually heard that they've released a second version of this particular kit that comes with his charge shots. So that would be interesting to pick up, but all in good time. Going forward, we're going to go ahead and jump in on this model kit. Next episode, we're going to start off by maybe doing some dry fitting, seeing how we're going to get some wires where we need them to go, and just kind of play around with it and have some fun. So until our next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode 2 for MegaManX second armor version. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.